Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another thrilling and tea-soaked episode of Tea Time with, of course, Barry and Larry. Gary and Terry died allegedly off the coast of Ibiza, so now it's Barry and Larry heading to the ice wall. I'm just sitting in for those two sodomites, as today we talk about shoes, Pol Pot, the bee, two hoodlums attack me, my stock market, and the future of the Army. But before we get started, hi everybody. Don't forget, if you donated to Beartaria, fill out the form at beartaria.io and also send me a video of your Beartaria to whydidn'ttheylaugh@gmail.com. Whatever you're working on in your, you guys get it. You guys know what to do. Just like whatever your garden is, what you're building, where you are, because we're shooting this documentary for the next 2.5 weeks. We're building Beartaria. You know, I just bought 40 cords of wood, 2,000 bags of concrete. I mean, a bunch of people are coming up to help. It's gonna be amazing. But to make this documentary full, we're gonna film that as well as where you guys are. And then if you donated to the buying of this land and then building these cabins and everything, I want you to take part in it by watching the documentary. So we're going to film the whole process. And thanks to everybody that's coming. Great Odin's Raven Bear's coming with like, he just DM'd me this morning. He's got like a mill and art, what's it called? All-terrain ATVs and everything. It's going to be awesome. Excavator Bear's coming. As you guys roll in, I'm going to play the request that Ukrainian Bear had yesterday. I wasn't at the piano. Somewhere Over the Rainbow by the version of Israel Kamakapa. It goes, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Well, troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't oh, somewhere, no, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Well, trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't All right, that's for you, Ukrainian Bear. Thanks for the request. I really like that version of the song. It's very uplifting. All right, so first, let's talk about a post I saw. Lost in History Picks. During World War I, Jews and Budapest were brought to the edge of the Danube. ordered to remove their shoes and shot, falling in the water below. 60 pairs of iron shoes now line the river bank, a ghostly memorial to the victims. Okay, so I've been talking a lot about shoes, and in the Holocaust, the word Holocaust in Yiddish is shua. Kind of interesting. So let's watch the great Mountain Bears cartoon about selling the rollerblading incident. We have a Steven Spielberg type character discussing how to market genocide with Pol Pot. Enjoy, and never forget the shoes, ladies and gentlemen. The shoes. The shoes.
What about my Holocaust? I kill millions of Tlanti. I put bullet in back of people's head. Dude, you call that branding? No. I kill millions of people. Pol Pot, you suck at genocide. No, I kill way more people. It's not about how many you kill. It's about how you sell it. Listen, buddy, no one cares about the sick shit you did in the jungle. You know? No, I kill millions of people. That doesn't sell it, baby. Come on. That doesn't sell it. That's not even that scary. Everyone's, we line up and shoot everybody. Oh, big fucking deal. Well, no, where's the pile of shoes? I did put bullet in back of head and put in ditch. You're not getting it, Pol Pot. You're not getting it. You want to make an industry around your genocide to last for centuries? You need piles of shoes. You need soap. How fucked up is it to make soap out of people? Did people really do that? No, fuck no, they didn't do that. That makes no sense. Why would you clean yourself with people you find disgusting? I know. Why would they do that? Well, they're fighting a two-front war. They didn't. That really makes no logical sense. But it doesn't matter. It's about emotion. It's about selling it. Now you bring in a movie where it's black and white except for a little girl in a red dress. Oh, you're remembering that shit now. And then they put you into a gas chamber with wooden doors where you claw at it. And for some reason, the claw marks are in cement. Come on, this is how we brand it. Well, I kill more people with my gun. Baby, you gotta sell the fear. You gotta sell the horror. You gotta sell it subtly with a pile of shoes. I don't like you people. You people are very sick. What if people see through it and start talking about it? You make it illegal. You put them in jail for hate. So logically, if someone does the math and realizes it's not possible, that's called hate. That don't make no sense. Pol Pot, you're not getting it. Genocide isn't about killing people. It's about brand awareness. Brand awareness. Do you have Killing Fields Incorporated? Fuck no, we just use the field to kill people. You're not getting it. You have to use corporate documents, liability shields, and then make that money, baby. Come on, Pol Pot. No way anyone that stupid. You feed them pornography and KFC, they're that stupid. You people are very weird.
Well done, Mountain Bear. So here you have, during World War II, Jews in Budapest were brought to the edge of the Danube, ordered to remove their shoes. A shoe without a soul. Now you're getting it, Pol Pot. You gotta brand it, baby. So, did the 60 people ever exist? It doesn't matter. No one cares. We got these shoes from a store there. It doesn't matter. Iron shoes, they'd sink. Don't you understand? It's hilarious. They could have just pushed them in the Danube. Why waste metal? Why waste bullets, Pol Pot? I spend all my money on bullets to kill people. It's not about killing people. Genocide isn't about killing people, Pol Pot. It's about brand awareness. You want to kill people, you lower their birth rate with homosexuality and transgenderism. You want to kill people, you start something called environmentalism, where you're a curse on the world. How we curse on the world provides us unlimited food and resources. You're not getting it, Pol Pot. You want to take out a lot of people, you just have them not give birth to a baby. And then if they do conceive, you have them kill the baby and call it feminism. Killing a baby is feminism? The most feminine thing in the world is to have a baby. That's called motherhood. You're not getting it, Pol Pot. You're wasting so much money on metal, the bullet. All right, anyway, let's continue. Well, the good news for the good guys is you got to brand it, baby. The Grabblers, they due to their social movements are becoming very weak. Let's take a look at, let's say, Russian army propaganda videos versus American. Here we go. Who do you think would win in a war? You're not getting it, Pol Pot. It's about the horror. It's about the shoes.
Military recruitment, United States versus Russia, 2021. Check it out.
Первый день твоей новой жизни. Что ты знаешь?
Oh, real quick, someone said something good. It's worth nothing unless they do it to themselves, Pol Pot. We're in a battle against God. Why aren't you talking about I did kill people in the field? You're not getting it, Pol Pot. If you kill them without them choosing it, then you don't get their soul. That's why we use shoes. What do you mean get their soul? I kill all the intellectuals.
На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь познать себя, познать границы своих возможностей? К черту границы, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле, главный враг — это задача выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он.
It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. To marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Okay, so, yeah, Russians ads will be my nightmares tonight. Yeah, Rebecca Bear says, my money's on Russia. Yeah. See, that's the problem. You always burn down your own house when you set fire to your neighbors. You understand? So the grabblers are like, you're not getting it, Pol Pot. You got to bring out the transgender agenda, environmentalism, weaken them with pornos and soybeans, right? And it's like, but I just want to kill the people in the jungle. It's like, okay, so the major asset of the United States to the grabblers is the military. It's like the ability of killing people in the world. We can't really do that anymore. Sorry, world. Or actually, congratulations, world. The great shaitan is no longer very good. It's like now it infected everybody. It's like when Germany sent a group of Germans. Germany isn't a thing. I'm trying to break a lot of spells in my own head. There is no Germany. Oh, how dare you? Sounds like Charlie Kirk. Germany's just an idea. No, but when people attribute an action to a country, it's okay, a group of Germans in a military strategy sent Vladimir Ilyinov Lenin to Russia to subvert them and to destroy them. But it's like setting fire to your in an unmarked train car. Of course, Vladimir Ilyinov Lenin was then sent to Russia, where he had to live in exile with a cow, or Siberia, had to live in exile with just a cow and a servant woman. I know how that feels. I'm not calling Amy a servant woman, but I'm just saying, watch out for who you send into exile with a cow. That's all I'm saying. You start getting gritty. All right, so then he comes back, overthrows Tsar Nicholas II. You guys are getting it. Then the Russians beat Germany. And then half of Germany goes under the Iron Curtain. I know a lot of it. I get it. A lot of it's orchestrated, but I think that's on a spiritual level. I think the people involved, the communist seeds of Lenin were planted by the German military wing, a group of people in Germany. And then it's like setting fire to your neighbor's apartment when you share a wall. It always comes back to hurt you. So the population agenda, lowering the population through environmentalism, nonsense propaganda, all this stuff, LGBT, all this stuff. Now you have gay military people. And I know a lot of military, and it's real. That's not bullshit. That's real. Like, I'm friends with some SEALs. The truth community is full of ex-military because, they bought the narrative of fighting for freedom, and then they came home and their kids were all gay. And the only thing they defended was a poppy field for about 6 months. And so now they're like, okay, what's really happening? And so the good news is everything's great if you just if you just realize a lot of this shit. Iron curtains and iron shoes. Iron shoes. The Iron Dome in Israel. Oh, speaking of, this was kind of funny. So Babylon Bee continues to use its propaganda tool, but they might actually be right. Let me explain. So, because Babylon Bee also said like, oh, because they've been getting emails from people saying that they're unsubscribing because they're doing propaganda for Israel, and they're like, the CEO of this Grabbler was like, oh, how dare Christians back Israel? Bye-bye, Mohammed, or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, Israelis, like Ben Shapiro calls Jesus Christ a criminal, and Islam says Jesus, peace be upon him, because they believe he's the Messiah. So I find it crazy that Christians back the current regime. It doesn't matter. Everything's God's will. It happens for a reason. Whatever happens is supposed to happen. And but anyway, I found this interesting because at first I responded. I like to respond to Babylon Bee because they are relentlessly stealing my material. I mean, they literally just did a story, a joke that said 6-year-old blows dandelion on baby boomer's green grass, ruining it or something. Like they're doing it in real time. Like I'll do a stream on dandelions, and then I immediately see that they do a dandelion joke. Anyway. So I feel like I normally don't troll. I normally don't respond to any other people. Like but they steal so much from me. I feel like it's owed to me. And so if you're going to use my spark, my creativity, I'm going to point out your problems. So it says, Luke Skywalker condemned for blowing up Associated Press office located on the Death Star. And so I wrote, so you're saying the people throwing rocks are the Empire, and the ones with the stealth fighters are the rebellion? I now see why you haven't been kicked off social media for your quote-unquote comedy. End quote. But then I thought about it. The modern Babylonian Grabbler is Luke Skywalker. If you think about Luke Skywalker, hates his dad, just like every Grabbler kid in the world. They think they're special because of their blood. You know, the midichlorians or whatever. To be a Jedi, you get taken from your family and ritualistically abused by a midget with big ears and a big nose in a swamp named Yoda. And then you're taught to subvert and take down empires and nations, and you blow up and you kill a bunch of natives. So I mean, I see it. I see why they think Luke's. You know, it's based on incest. It's based on, overthrowing the order of the universe. I get it. You know, the Jedi really are the Grabblers. So trust the Force, Luke. Where's the Force come from? Their special DNA, their special blood. Keep this our secret, you will. Right? So they take the kid from the parent. They send him off to like their camps and all that. And then they get molested in a swamp. And they're taught the Force. They have a weird sexuality with their sister, and then they have a hatred for their father, whose head looks like a black phallus, but underneath it is a shriveled old Grabbler. Okay, I mean, listen, I think they're right. It's like Luke Skywalker, who is operating in a subversive, like the Jedi are part of a coalition that's a non-national cosmopolitan elite that goes from country to country. Weinstein, master of the Force. Exactly. And they're not even Jews. It's like Jews is a brand. It's a shell company. It's a liability shield. That's why I don't call them Jews anymore. I still say Jew because it's like a fun word, and sometimes you'll catch me doing that. But like, they're not. They're Jew in name only. They're Ginos. They meet their darkest fears. The old fat naked guy's like, oh, bada bada bada. Yeah, and they use debt to take out all this stuff, and it is what it is. Lightsabers are wieners like in Spaceballs. Yeah, totally. And then they're using Jungian archetypes like the Wookiee and Han Solo. Hand Solo. It's about masturbating. Hand Solo. And he's alone with his animalistic desires in a little bubble in infinite darkness. Okay, well, I get it now. They're right. All right, here's some super chats. EntropyStream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. And The Sound of Music, it's like, in my opinion, it's completely inverted. So the good guy is the dude who bangs the horny nun, and his best friend is like an old gay guy who puts together musicals and subverts. Like, the horny nun keeps taking his kids, gallivanting all around Vienna, or wherever they're living, Scheinenberg. And the horny nun, literally, he's fucking his babysitter, the horny nun, with a butch haircut. And she's like dressing the kids in his curtains. They're like, hi, Captain. They fall out of a boat without any life preservers. And no one cares. No one's like, oh, are the kids okay? No. Meanwhile, the guy's fixated on banging this nun with her guitar. Meanwhile, this like really elegant woman wants to marry him. And he's like, no, I'm fucking the nun. And then his best friend, who he has a very touchy relationship with, he's always like touching. And the guy's like, we want you to do musicals and tour the world as the Von Trapp family musicians. It's an old gay guy that they now feel comfortable leaving their children with. The old gay guy has no wife, no family, nothing. And they're trying to act like the force of, and I'm not into Nazis. I don't like Hitlerio. I think he was working for the banks. The whole Nazi movement was completely hijacked from day one. But in the movie The Sound of Music, the Nazis are the good guys. I mean, the butch, horny nun who's subverting his family from the inside that he's now fucking. You want to talk about privilege and what white male privilege and all that? You don't fuck the help. You hear that, Schwarzenegger? Especially when she's a nun. She took vows. And the kids, it's like they're dealing with the death of their mother and all this. Meanwhile, he lets this horny nun fucking dress them in their old curtains and go out in a boat without life preservers. Life vests. Little kids. Meanwhile, the Nazis are just like, hey, have you paid your water bill? They're like, me and this gay guy are going to overthrow you. And then take kids through a mountain range. They're like, all we wanted was for you to pay your fucking electric bill. And it's like, electric bill? Ha. Unbelievable. All right, here we go. Kane says, thank you so much for helping this gamma start crushing. I owe you much more than this, but saving up to buy property to build a family. Keep crushing, and I will too. Tinfoil Bear here. Here's a $5 for the wagon burners as well. Thank you. That was awesome. Bam Bam Bear says, received the invite and planning on coming, but my mom just received some medical news, so I need to stay back and help with her. Oh yeah, definitely stay with your mom. We're maniacs. Like we're just trusting in God. we just have a ton of cement, some plans from Frontlines Jack Bear. He's crushing, by the way. An excavator bear's bringing an excavator. We got a bunch of dudes in tents ready to crush, and that's it. and we're shooting the whole documentary, so there we go. I'm a home builder with my architect degree, so feel free to contact me anytime. Hopefully next build. Till then, here's a few shekels. God bless. Thank you, Bam Bam Bear. Nathaniel says, the why didn't they laugh at gmail.com address is not working. Yes, it is. I have a video for Bertari Doc, but could inspire city folk. No biggie, just trying to spread my crush. Definitely send it to why didn't they laugh at gmail.com. Keep crushing and God bless. Fellow Bard Bear, a.k.a. NATO. Thank you. Definitely get me that video, though. The email address as of this morning was working, so if they shut me down between now and then, I don't know. Just post it at the Great Bear Trail on Instagram. Louisiana Black Bear. I'm black, but my quarter white keeps me away from the bikes. Yeah, keep telling us that. Bear Razor 2470 says, the only black that ever turned white was Michael Jackson. Oh, I read that yesterday. How dare you, Kyneton? How dare you indeed. All right, let's continue. The shoes. I was attacked. Speaking of being attacked by hoodlums, I was attacked yesterday by these two hoodlums. All right, so I was attacked yesterday. Charlie is obviously does not hold back. They just stole my bike. Oh, yeah, and also the Jedi are obsessed with AI and robotics. C-3PO and R2-D2. R2-D2 is the gay lover of C-3PO, who is a flaming gay AI robot. So, yeah, I mean, Babylon Bee is right on. Like Luke Skywalker, who's trying to F his sister, who ends up a tragic figure. His father is a little grabbler hiding behind a black phallus. Sound familiar? Black Lives Matter. NAACP. George Soros. And yeah, they believe they have special blood. They are traumatized in a swamp by a little pedophile named Yoda. And, you know, that's what they do. So yeah, you're right. Luke Skywalker did just try to blow up part of a functioning empire. I'm not seeing a lot of support for Israel, by the way. And not Israel as the tribe or the blood or how it's described in the Bible. Israel as this fraudulent government. I don't really care because no matter whatever happens, it's going to happen. And what I think and feel and talk about doesn't even matter. But like, I don't know anybody that's supporting it. I don't hang out with baby boomers that have masturbation addictions. So maybe I'm just sheltered. But C-3PO is the Twink's twink, exactly. Do you guys know anybody that's like, finally, they're attacking Al Jazeera? Those Palestinians have had enough. I mean, they're just so dominant. So Israelis are saying Palestine doesn't exist, but yet they're the evil empire. Really? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's what they, I mean, they're still relying, and now all the spells that they're trying to use to justify their horror, people know. Israel and Hamas has a weird abusive symbiotic relationship. 100% Denmark Bear. You're getting it. It's a battery. Israel needs Hamas, and Hamas kind of needs Israel in a weird way. I would not be surprised if they're funded by the same entity. But like, you know, America's spell of like 7-Eleven was a part-time job and all these things, it's like, it doesn't hold up. And our military is so gay and female and dumb that like, everybody's just backing away. That's why Building Bertari is going to be such a great documentary, because it's like a bunch of dudes on a river with no power, no water, bunch of tents, and we're going to be building stone cabins like the days of old. We're reconnecting with our ancestors. It's going to be awesome. I did a full stream on crypto yesterday on Instagram, so you can get it at unauthorized.tv. If you want to hear all about, I go through all these stocks that outperform crypto. Like, you know, crypto, Bitcoin went up I'm just going to sum it up real fast. Crypto, in my opinion, is a way to get a nation, the people, me, you, all these people in America and Europe and whatnot, to invest in nonsense carnival games instead of steel, water, wheat, you know, communication networks, because the grabblers are just buying it up. And so one of the reasons that they don't need to listen to you anymore is because you don't take part in your own infrastructure. Like, if every American had like between $2,000 and $5,000 worth of stock or land, even owning some land or owning some stocks in like wheat, steel, instead they're like, no, I'm going to invest in a algorithm that solves math problems using electricity. It's crazy. You're squandering your ancestors' resources. And so then they crash it. They get all these, all the nation to stare at a screen, hoping for it to go back up. Meanwhile, so this year it's been 360% increase in Bitcoin. So people are like, oh, wow, I can't give up this fortune. I'm going to make such a fortune. I'm going to make such a fortune. And I know it's wrong, but I do what I have to do. No, you're not going to make a fortune. Big Five Sporting Goods is up 2,300% this year. Home Decor is up 1,100%. Ford Motors up 100%. Delta Airlines is up. Uranium's up 85%. Wheat's up. Corn's up. All of it's up. Oil's up 100%. All of it's up. So meanwhile, the grabbers are buying stuff that actually has value, and all these like non-grabbers are staring at their Bitcoin like, go up, now it's going down, go up. It's like, it doesn't exist in reality. And I know that a lot of people's argument against me is you don't understand. Maybe that's a hint that someone with a 147 IQ that's made a lot of predictions and a lot of the right calls in life, that has a life that a lot of people really want to live. I do understand it. I don't think it's you that understands it. I think if you need 20 pages to explain it to me, it's not real, guys. And it's a way to extract your wealth. If you have $5,000 and you put it towards, dude, putting it towards Bertaria is literally a better investment for your children. Because we're like, even if you never go to Ursa Rio and camp there or whatever, you are an executive producer on entertainment that isn't designed to subvert and destroy your own nation. Crypto is an IRS honeypot trap. But forget about all that. It is a wealth extraction mechanism, and they tell each other when it's going to crash. You know, when Zuckerberg, looking back, how he posted that his goats were named Max and Bitcoin, they're publicly telling each other, sell the Bitcoin, watch it crash. Now the people, the native population that they're infiltrating, all their money is in crypto, so they're not able to buy oil, communications, wheat, rice, stocks, and all this stuff, gold ETFs, mining, all this stuff. So they just have no money. And so the grabblers, they tank the stock market. They start buying up your resources. And then that's it. No, and people I did a post about this, and a lot of people still don't get it. They're like, oh, Elon's trolling. They're going to crash it, pump it up, then they're going to come back up. And if you hold, but I'm like, what are you holding? You're holding a math problem. That's all crypto is. Yeah, but it's infrastructure for the future, blockchain. But I'm like, steel, wheat, soy, rice, communication cables. Imagine owning 1/1000% of your nation's communication cables. Imagine if everybody started doing that. And bear in mind, I also think the stock market is stupid. Stock market's more real than Bitcoin and crypto, obviously. And I'm only telling you this because I want my nation to hold its wealth. It's being extracted. That's the only reason I'm telling you that. I don't care. If I offend your crypto religion, that's okay with me. Because if one person takes what I say seriously, we will have more wealth in our nation. The ultimate is your own food networks, your own community. Like the best investment you can make is children. Gratitude to God, your attitude, your health. Then like blueberry bushes, a milk cow, knowing your neighbor, supporting your neighbor. You can call this pie in the sky bullshit. It's biblical. It is what Christianity is supposed to be. It's the way you weather these storms. You put your roots deep. Well, guys, the stock market is chasing nonsense. Party City did 4 times better this year than Bitcoin. 4 times. Party City. So understand that the grab was trying to make you think that Bitcoin's the only way you can possibly get into the future, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the stock market is full of huge increase. Okay, the pharmaceutical companies are not going up like you think they are. Johnson & Johnson, I believe, is down. Pfizer is up 8%. Meanwhile, Ford Motors up 100%. You know, it's like, stay with your nation. It's like, stay with your nation. And so investing in Bertaria is literally better for your kids. Literally. Every time you guys have done a donation here, whatever, we're cementing our culture in a mass scale. Think about how many people are like, why does everything in media suck? The media. It's so homogeneously terrible that people call it the media. We have an alternative here at Bertaria Times, the app, unbearablesmedia.com, the Great Bear Trail, Ursa Rio, the fact we're building a place where we can have events and you guys can have events there and all that. Okay, that's actually a solution. We're shooting a high quality documentary. We shot another one last year. You're doing great, kid. It's on unauthorized.tv. If you want to be a part of the solution to these problems and not just bitch and complain, then this is the way to do it. Buying Bitcoin is not the move. Oh, but it's going to go up. I think it's going to keep going down. The Goyim are going to stare at their computer screens for a year, praying for money, which is Luciferian. And they're going to be like, please, Roz, I want to be like Big Bear and buy land. Meanwhile, you could have just got land. You could have made money in all these other ways, getting a wood mill, mowing people's lawns, selling milk, you know, being a tutor for kids, being a gymnastics coach, you know, excavating, all this stuff. Like, These are profitable businesses right now. Millions of them. It's unlimited. Right now is the best opportunity you'll ever experience for the real economy, not the stock market, the real economy. Get things that matter because the grabblers are buying it. They're buying your nation's resources, mining. And so they just keep doing inverses with Bitcoin. They get people to put their money in Bitcoin. Look over here. It's math equations. Well, my ancestors fought for America, so I'm going to invest in math equations that are really hard to solve. And there's only 21 million coins. That's how you know it's valuable. Okay, that's retarded. Meanwhile, you could buy a share of U.S. oil, U.S. steel, stuff where, if enough of the population own part of what makes their nation, even better, own a garden, have children you teach properly, make good people. All right, and I'll stop ranting, but I really just wanted to explain that. What we're doing with Bertaria is a huge investment in the future. That's why this documentary is so important to me. It's like building Bertaria, having all your videos of what you're doing so that we can reconnect with our ancestral roots. Want to know who's richer than all the Bitcoin people in the world? The Amish. Do you know how much land and gold they own in Pennsylvania? How non-dependent they are, how anti-fragile they are? It's true wealth. Demographics, skills, land, water. My water stocks are, and I don't have a lot of money in stocks, but I have some so I can see where it's going. Aqua, all these water stocks are doing great. It's up 40% in 2 months. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is going to continue nosediving so that the Goyim get real scared and stare at their computer screens. It's I'm right. There's no get rich quick schemes. I mean, you have us donate. Yeah. I'm building culture. What I do is valuable. I make you laugh. I make you feel. I help build your communities. Guys, that's worth more than all the Bitcoin in all the world that will ever exist. And so if you want to support that, if you want to invest in your future, your kids' future, the knowledge, the gratitude of these streams, then yeah, donate. P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. Because everything you donate, I'm using to build Bertaria. And Bertaria doesn't threaten the beast. It's not scary. It's not militant. It's not against the dollar or the United States government or any of that shit. It's an alternative. It's a way to show people, and there's going to be a lot of people in the beast that are going to watch this documentary. It's not about spite. It's not about Owen was right. No, it's oh my God, I can do that. I can grow a tomato. A tomato's return on investment is 1,000 to 1 every tomato. Hey, Big Bear, I've always wondered why in movies do they say all the conspiracy theories they are actually going to do and then blame the Jews are going to do it if Hollywood are Jews. Because Jews isn't the right word. Hollywood isn't Jews. Hollywood are people who call themselves Jews that are satanic, God-hating perverts. They call themselves Jews as a liability shield. Then they call themselves white when they want to, and then Jews when they want to. And, Semites include Arabs. It doesn't even, the Semitic heritage is a language group. It's Arabic. It's, Phoenician. And it's all nonsense. That's why keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the good, the true, the beautiful, and you will never be tricked. BB, what's your deadline for the videos you want to include in your documentary? A month? I don't know. We haven't even started shooting the main one yet. And I'll stop ranting about crypto. If you want to watch all my thoughts about it, I go through Robinhood and I have people ask me, tell me any company they can think of, and I showed the returns this year. I nailed 2, by the way, 51% and 80%. I can't remember which companies, but I was dialed in. I was dialed in doing instinct math. That's at unauthorized.tv. And so what I think is coming, my personal opinion, and I've thought this for a long time, I'm not giving you financial advice, but I think the banks of a river narrow, it increases the flow of current, right? So the restrictions for this last year was a major, giant wealth acquisition. Every major company in America, with the exception of a few, went up massively, hundreds of percent increase. Boeing, all of it, Delta, all of it. So even if you think that they were hurt by the quote unquote pandemic, they weren't. They were closing off all their competition, all the mom and pops, every competition the big boys had, Home Depot, Lowe's, all that. They narrowed the flow. They consolidated the resources right up the pyramid. And now that they're opening it up, there's going to be I believe there's going to be a major crash in liquidity and people, which means that people are going to sell their stocks because they won't have any money. And then the grab wars with all their recent money acquisitions from Bitcoin, Dogecoin, all this nonsense. They will use that to buy the stocks that are going to crash. A lot of the main stocks that are going to, I believe, this is just my opinion. They opened like 5 Target stores in Santa Monica during Corona. Yeah, exactly. It was narrowing the economy. It was wealth consolidation to eliminate Main Street and keep it all on Wall Street. And so I think that it's tipping over right now. It's going to go down. And then the grabbers are going to get a great deal on buying your nation. And that's it. That's why you got to invest in your nation. You got to invest in your land, your family, your community. If you're going to buy stocks, buy water, uranium, wheat, corn, shit that like is fundamental. What's it called? I can't remember the name of it. I'm not even a big business person at all. The dreidel wobbling. Yeah, but the dreidel wobble is part of the script. They know the dreidel wobbling, so they're using it to acquire more wealth. That being said, they're acquiring a larger amount of a smaller pie. So they no longer have a valid military. They don't have a good spy network. It's all inflated. It's all spellcraft. They don't have, quote unquote, they are not actually doing well. They don't have a functioning hold on real economics. It's all fake. Like here is my stock market fluctuating. Here it is. Live stock market. There's the pyramid. Those are the grabbers, by the way. Oh, it goes up. I climb the pyramid. Then it goes down. Run for the hills. Oh, Jesus, they know. Oh, I'm coming back, buying up all the stuff. Buy Bitcoin. Oh, Elon gets it. Everyone's crushing. Yeah, buy. Everybody pump it up. Oh, I'm out of here. Oh, shit, I'm going to jail for pedophilia. Oh, fuck. I'm squirting again. Oh, come on, everybody. Invest in this shit. I should have done commentary the whole time. Dude, the grabbers are geniuses at these scams and everything, but they're fundamentally self-destructive. Paul from Pockets of the Future had a great point. He was like, you don't need to stand up for truth. Truth just is. And if you go against truth, you hurt yourself. And I don't know what helium and corn and all that are going to do. I'm not telling you what to buy. Forget what I said a second ago. Theoretically, because if it goes down, I don't want you guys to be like, oh, I bought fucking helium. But I'm just letting you know that during the Bitcoin run, all wealth was going up. And I believe that a lot of the commodities, that's the word, commodities will become more and more valuable. What's really valuable is living on land with trees and you have a sawmill. You have skills to make a house. You have skills to pour concrete. I have so little skills compared to so many bears that when we're building Beartaria, I'm going to be carrying water buckets. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be learning a ton. I'm so excited to meet a lot of people, but like, we're just rolling with it, man. I got the funding from you guys when you donated. And we just got all these materials and we invited a bunch of dudes I've never met. And we're just going to camp and build fucking stone cabins. I mean, how sick is that? We got 40 cords of wood. We got 2,000 60-pound bags of concrete. We got all these like support beams and windows and doors and shit. It's like, let's see what we got. All right. Sounds like a blast. Yeah. That's real value. So I'm not even telling you guys to invest in the stock market. I'm just saying like the crypto craze was nonsense. And now it's going to keep going down to hold everyone's emotions and everyone's resources. Because most people don't have a ton of money. So if you have $5,000 extra and you put it all in Bitcoin, it's going to go down probably to $1,000, and you're just going to be staring at it. And then in 2 years, it'll shoot back up again to keep its brand. It's just a way to pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. If you're not in on these cycles, you're not going to make any money. You're just going to lose money. And also, if you put $5,000 in and make a quick buck, it's 60,000. You know, it's already down to 3,500, and you might get scared and sell it, and then you take the loss. Whereas if you hold for 2 years, it'll go up over 5,000 again. But it's like 2 years, well, you'll be staring at a screen. All right. Robinhood even fixed algorithms so little guy always loses. Little guy doesn't always lose. Ford Motor Company's up over, you doubled your money if you invested in Ford this year. Ford. How's that little guy losing? It's like, just stay with the course. Invest in what has value and don't invest in nonsense. If you don't understand it, don't put your money to it. That's why people give me super chats and stuff. They understand this. I don't have commercials. I don't have a network. I'm ostracized from the beast. I have a powerful, funny, and valuable message and a great community. If you want to support it, you give a super chat. P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. That makes perfect sense. Crypto's like, okay, there's only 21 million ever. You mine it through increasing need of electricity. Its value is the complexity of the math it's solving and the technology of blockchain, which centralizes decentralization. So I need electricity and an internet connection to access my wallet? Yeah. Unless you put it on a little, like a little thumbnail drive, then you can hold it in your hand. But don't I still need electricity and internet to access it? How do I give someone a thumbnail drive and have them know that it's valuable? You can't. Yeah. You're always going to need electricity and internet. So how is that decentralized? Can someone like kick me off? And then now that they're charging taxes on crypto, how is it decentralized when they know who I am doing it? I thought I was anonymous. Oh no, you're not anonymous anymore. They know. So what the fuck is this? Nothing. It's literally math equations. It's the dumbest carnival game. It's fucking, wanna know what it's comparable to? Is Beanie Babies. Wanna know what it's not comparable to? Steel, honey, wheat. It's a Beanie Baby. It's a beanie. It has no actual value outside of people's nonsense brain. All right. And I definitely will get banned from Bitcoin, no question. All right, what else do I got for you guys? Army, B, shoes, Pol Pot, T. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to start reading mail. I got a lot of mail today, so let's do this. Hope you guys are having a great day. BB, the hog video is really eye-opening. Yeah, totally. That's how they treat people. They're just hunting. They're just farming you. Some hunt, some farm. I don't want you farmed. And let's say you listen to everything I say and you disagree. Totally fine. I'll still be your bro. I'll still be your friend, even if you're like really into crypto. Totally fine. I swear to God, it's fine. I'm just letting people know what I know about what I believe to be true so that more people can retain their wealth in hard times. So our community doesn't struggle as the dreidel stops spinning. That's the only reason I'm doing it. It's not because I'm mad at you or you shouldn't be triggered. Oh, and by the way, if you want to, since we take these videos down every day off the tube of you, the tube of House U, you can comment your comments about this stream at Bertaria Times. Every day now I'm going to post my tea time, the time for my tea time. And in the comment section, you can add any information or any feedback, what resonates with you. Obviously, no vulgarity, no debating, no fighting. Oh, you can't handle it? No, the internet comment section is not for debate, especially Bertaria Times. No vulgarity, no truther stuff, no like attacking, no debating. But I really want to know what you think about these things. You know, and if you have any information to share, great. If you totally disagree and think I'm like an idiot and I don't understand crypto, just keep it to yourself. Like have some self-control. You know what I'm saying? Like just don't say it. Just go somewhere else. There's now 1 million places you can go where you can just go, hold until we get to the moon. Classic grab or joke because no one's ever been to the moon. So it's like, yeah, you're going to the moon, all right, doggy coin. and you no longer can say, well, look at these returns, Big Bear. Don't you want your audience to be rich? The returns on many stocks this year were much bigger. And now that the main crypto is tanking and will for, in my opinion, years, you can no longer say that to me. Hilarious. Thank you. All right, let me get my letters going here. But BB, the Trinity and crypto are in the Bible, but not flat earth or giants. Hilarious. Oh yeah, the Trinity is actually like perfectly explained in Pike, Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma, the Freemason. About literally, it's all about three becoming one and all that. So, you know, that's a great way to learn about the Trinity. The Bible, on the other hand, doesn't really have too much on it. But that's okay. I'm not mad at you. You know I ain't mad at you, bro. You know I ain't mad at you, nigga. BB, do you think if people invested in independent businesses instead of crypto, those businesses would have been saved? 100%. So many businesses closed down because, I mean, probably a lot of the business owners were dicks to their neighbors. So I'm not even, a lot of them were like total mass Nazis. Like, I'm not even saying that they're all victims because I know people that survived, survived the purges in Los Angeles because they just wouldn't quit. Legendary. Kind of like me, where it's like, I won't stop being funny. But yeah, if like, let's say they had $1,200 expenses a month and they couldn't cover it because of Corona lockdowns and people did local fundraisers, you'd still have, you couldn't have been broken. But instead, they put all their money. Like, that's why it's like people supporting me here did that. Like, you guys did it. There was a comedian that you liked that was being destroyed, and you said, I'm going to put resources toward this guy so that he doesn't get destroyed. It's amazing, and I'm deeply thankful for it for the rest of my life. I'll never forget it, and I'll work the rest of my life building this community and building assets for this community as much as possible, and building infrastructure so that we can still keep our culture. And you guys did that for me, every one of you that's here. Just coming, even like just jumping around like we've been. Oh, it's my mom. Thanks, Mama. Happy birthday. That was very generous, Mom. Happy birthday. It's for my mom. May 24th. Yeah, it's like if people, instead they're like, no, we're not going to invest in our local businesses. We're going to invest. Like, what if a local hairdresser that went out of business and like tens of thousands went out of business? What if they said, if you all give us everybody, our entire clientele, if they like said, if they had like an email list or something, if you guys each give us $400, you can have free haircuts for the rest of your life. Right? They wouldn't have went under. Like, how much do you value this hairdressing place? And there's a ton of people where $400 isn't a lot of money. It's a lot of money to everybody, but it's also not for a lot of people. And so instead they're like, no, I'm going to put my resources towards math equations. I think crypto is making Gen Z the new baby boomer. Well, the ones buying into it. It's the same baby boomer bullshit. It's like when your grandkids say, what did you do to help keep our resources, Grandpa? They're going to say, I invested in your slavery. I invested in math equations tied to something called a blockchain, called cryptocurrency. They're like, but Granddad, isn't that where dead people are? Yeah. Isn't a cell block where you put prisoners? Oh, yeah. Isn't a chain associated with slavery? Yeah, indeed. If my hairdresser did that, I would have jumped on the opportunity. Exactly. Or say, like, I'll come to your house. Or even if people are actually scared of the nonsense, just say $400 and I stay in business. We'll build a capital fund. I'll take down all my expenses until lockdown ends. I'll start figuring out if you're not scared of the corona. I'll come to your house with scissors and I'll pay the rent for the next year based on these $400 donations, and you will then have free haircuts the rest of your life. Think about, and then the story spreads. People are like, holy shit, you can do that? Oh yeah, you can do that. How much did you want to stay in business? Because the devil then tempted people with free money. Oh, if you close down, we'll give you $2,000. Out of $6 trillion? $6 trillion, 330 million goes into $6 trillion, $18,000 a person. I'd say half of those people got $2,000 stimulus checks. So that's $36,000 a person and watered down debt money. So your dollar is now worth that little. And you only got 2,000. Okay. So now your money is worth that much less. Your currency, the stock market and crypto or silver and gold and land, it's not going up. The dollar is going down. And then I think Vox Day is right that there will eventually be deflation where people won't have money because they're going to be so fucking poor. I started getting my hair cut. You'll see. I mean, you're seeing it right now. Think about how right I've been on all this shit. Heist of the century so far. Only if you engage in it. It's one of those heists where everything is biblical. They followed God's law. The high law says that the child of God has to accept Satan's deal in order to lose the protection of God. So you have to sell out. Crypto means you can only make money if someone else loses money. There's no inherent value. If you have a milking cow, I'll just keep it simple. You can make money providing milk for people. Crypto does not provide anything for anybody. And the argument that the dollar is just as bad is not true. Crypto is a less real thing. You can hold a dollar in your hand. It doesn't require electricity and internet. You can't ban people from holding a dollar in their hand. Like, I can hold this in my hand and exchange it for milk and eggs at a store. Cryptocurrency, you require a connection to an international grid. It is a wet dream of a global governance system. And it's attached to a public ledger, so everything you buy and sell is public. And your identification will be associated with it. And so I'm giving you my pitch. If that makes some people uncomfortable, okay. If you're one of these autists that just knows how to time the swings and make a ton of money on Bitcoin, great. Good for you. You don't have to not be a bear. I'm not mad at you. I know a lot of people don't have a capability of any conflict. They think that I'm mad because they've been raised by women and no men. They're like, oh, he's mad at me. A Big Bear's mad at me. I'm going to squirt. I'm going to get mad now. No, I'm just letting you know that this is reality. And the people that will fight with me about Bitcoin in my comment section, I feel a real rapey vibe from them where it's like, I've asked you not to do this. And you're not even addressing my points. It's like, oh, Big Bear, oh, it's up so much and, oh, it'll come back and it's Elon Musk is only like trying to lower it so we can buy more. I'm like, buy more of what? You're not addressing, this is why I know it's a lie. They're not addressing my fundamental that it doesn't exist in reality. Oh, neither does money. Money sure as fuck exists in reality. And of course I'm not for the Federal Reserve. I'm not for the petrodollar. At least it backs oil. It's a commodity. It might be nonsense. It's based on America's ability to defend the World Bank's acquisitions, their resources, our military. Well, our military is becoming very transgendered. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but it's still in reality. Bitcoin is a decentralized. Oh, this is awesome. Welcome to Bear Diary, my friend. This is great. Thank you. Thank you. Who sent me this? From Zoe out of Canada. Thank you, Canada. That's beautiful. And of course, that's a character the mountain bear first painted. This is a hand-painted thing. That has more value than all the Bitcoin in the world. And also, if you think it's a get rich quick scheme, you don't understand how it works. They don't want 1 million. There's 1 million millionaires in America. They don't want 5 million millionaires in America. That's a threat to them. You need poor people in order to be rich. Because in God's kingdom, and I know there's elements that make me sound like a commie, but I'm not a commie. Commie is centralized authoritarian control by grabblers. There is no rich and poor. I know it sounds like a fucking John Lennon song. They're grabblers. Just hear me out. It's like in order for a rich person to feel powerful and rich, you have to have poor people. America's poor would be the rich of Nicaragua. So like the scumbags in America that are always bitching, oh, I'm so poor, I only have a beat up old 20-year-old car. You go to Nicaragua, they're like, car? So there you'd feel rich. Like when I lived in the Czech Republic, I felt very rich because I could eat out at 5-star restaurants every day with my American dollars for like $1. I could go into a place where like all the, in Brno, I wasn't even in Prague. I was in 2.5 hours away in a town called Brno. I could go into a 5-star restaurant that like the nobility would go to. And with like $1, I could eat whatever I wanted because my money was worth so much more than their money. And so it's like that with the dollar. And so as the dollar is being eroded by crypto and all this stuff and, you know, the sexual degeneracy and, you know, just immorality, I don't want the dollar to fall. I don't like the Federal Reserve. I don't like the contract they got from the Treasury. I'd much prefer it to be backed by something real, more real than just violence and oil. But crypto is the way to impoverish the whole world. And it's like, do it if you want, but it's such a brilliant scam. And so few people, and I know that they choose not to see it because of greed. A lot of people choose not to see it because of greed. But without poor people, there's no rich people because it's all by comparison. And I'm not saying people won't have more virtues or more skills or some will be more attractive and we should elevate. But it's like an architect does his job. Somebody who carries water does his job. And, you know, it's like, who's to say? I know that this sounds like communism, but it's not. It's like capitalism, like this fake money crypto bullshit is a way to like stratify society without any sense of reality to it. Like, do you think Bill Gates is a better man than you? Of course not. Why is he so rewarded? Because of his evil. In a real world, it's like, yeah, some people have larger manors or estates or houses or whatever because of the wealth they provide for others. The more value you bring other people, the more wealth you will have. And then that'll take away from envy. So when someone looks at a man in a castle with a large 300 acres, let's just say, and all these people, that they think, what a great man. And it's like, why? It's like, because look at how much he provides for people. Our current system, you look at someone in a giant Rothschild castle and you say, what an evil man. Because not only are they not providing, they're extracting wealth from people. They're extracting labor, currency, energy, all of it, just all day long. You're not rewarded in our current system. In the stock market, in the fiat world, you're rewarded in the economy. Like down the street, there is a 2,000 acre farm that provides all my hay and grain. I would love to see them get 3,000 more acres. They're a wonderful private family in the real economy. I get to go there and buy non-GMO grain for all my animals and hay at a very reasonable price. They're providing an unbelievable value to me personally and my family. So if I looked at them, I'd be honored to shake their hand and say, thank you, thank you. And they're crazy wealthy. But their wealth is directly proportionate to how much value they bring people in their area. Now, would I feel the same way about the CEO of Big Five? No. The 2,300% that stock made this year is nonsense. All right, here's some more. They're not providing value. They're extracting wealth in globalism using fake labor in fake countries. They're exploiting people. Employ Americans. Employ Americans. Employ the people that are descended from the people that made this country. My husband has listened since the Flat Earth Spiraling days. I used to make fun of you and think you were just another truther, but now I'm a daily listener and we've got a garden, goats, and chickens. Make a video. Why didn't they laugh at gmail.com? Mumsy Bear says, happy birthday. Thank you. It's a little early. I'm not a woman, so I don't celebrate for a month. But thank you. I appreciate that. All right, communism is always like the devil promising you kingdom of God. Oh, that's a great way to put it. We're a real cosmology bear. Communism is always like the devil promising you the kingdom of God and never doing it. Oh, brilliant. The core promises of communism are never implemented because they use the utopia promise like a carrot. It's the devil promising the kingdom of God. Wow. Real cosmology, Bear. That is a home. Dude, that is a brilliant. You just summed up a problem I was having for a while because I like a lot of communist ideals because they're biblical. It's the Bible, but it's so evil. Like communism in practice is so fucking evil because it's the devil trying to provide, it's promising the kingdom of God, and it becomes a complete inversion. Wow. Unbelievable. I know I've been hard on you in the past, but sometimes you say very stupid things. But that one was just a home run. All right, meet the new Paul, same as the old Paul. It's the devil. It's like the devil can quote scripture. You know, everybody is equal in the kingdom of God. In the eyes of God, your service to him is your equality. It doesn't mean you're going to be have as beautiful of a wife or as much land. You know, that's bullshit. There's no envy in the kingdom of God because it's like your commitment to God and you're rewarded based on what you should get. Like what should you be? And so that's the utopia promised by communism that becomes the exact inversion of that. Like capitalism is a more moral system than communism. Capitalism, because of the central bank, is becoming communism. It's like two wings of the same bird, but like at least capitalism was supposed to reward virtue. Like your morality would get you more money, your service to the community, how much you could provide, how much employment you could provide, how much service, resilience, all that stuff. That's what got you wealth, which lowers envy, which promotes prosperity in the land. Our current capitalist system is communism. You know, it's fake money given to cronies based on a central bank that has nothing to do with value at all. Communism cannot work with humans individually, only works with ants and bees. I disagree, Green Thumb Bear. Communism can't work if anybody's immoral. And communism is typically forced on people based on their insane immorality. You know, act like the Russians are victims all you want. That era was filled with like demonic mysticism, orgies, nonsense, like intellectualism. Like listen, read a Confession by Tolstoy. Like that whole era was awful in Russia. They were degenerates. They were degenerating. They were not the Russian nation that you see more of today, or in like the era of Ivan the Terrible and all that. And so the result is the devil gets to put his boot on you and give the inverted kingdom of God. Any thoughts on Rasputin? I don't even know if he existed. I used to think a lot about him and do streams on him and stuff, but at this point it sounds a bit like a fairy tale. Abortion was sky high in the Soviet era. Yeah. Socialism may be infused with spirit, morality in order to work. No, but it can't be an ism like that. It would be more like capitalism resembling communism. Like how it is in, like where I live, my neighborhood is almost like that. It's very independent, very sovereign, very like you do your work, you crush, but it's a lot more free trade, local economies trading and buying and selling from each other. And then from a distance, it would look almost more communism. It's like people have each other's backs. There's like social, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's fascinating. It's like moral capitalism looks kind of like communism because you don't let people fall. Because if they're moral, you support them when they're down. And then, so you don't really have that like poverty and like a moral capitalism. Because your like familial ties and your neighbor ties won't let each other fall. It's not from the government. The government comes in, or special interests or corporations, when neighbors are against neighbor, when envy is on across the land, when lust and greed and all this bullshit, because you look at each other as enemies. Love your neighbor as thyself sounds like a communist ideal, but it isn't. It's Christianity. Love thy neighbor as thyself means you don't let them fall, but they have to be moral. Wicked people you're supposed to let fall. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me read this. May Gary and Terry rest in eternal sodomy, gone but never forgotten. Cheers to the raddest, baddest, flat earthest couple of homos to ever lube up and crush the fuck out of some tea and sailing. May their spirit live on in Barry and Larry until they die in a major AIDS quilting accident, which is consequently inevitable. I 100% agree. I think there's no chance in hell that Barry and Larry don't die in an AIDS quilting incident. Love to you, Amy and the boys, and all the bears as we mourn over our beloved Gerald and Terrell. Rest in peace. Well, I'm almost 100% that Barry and Larry are actually Gary and Terry. They've just got new identities. It's love thy neighbor, not love everyone for a reason. Yeah, totally. Yeah, love thy neighbor. Dude, I'm going to do a whole stream soon on my recent breakthroughs on the sky clock and diet and how we're supposed to live. It's fat. Guys, it's so fucking biblical. Should I just get into that now or... I think we're supposed to have different diets in different times of the year. I'm finally like living such a natural life with the homestead that it's blowing my fucking mind. And it's all Christian, quote unquote Christian / pagan religion. So Easter, the time of the egg and the rabbit, is the explosion of life. It's when your animals are supposed to calve. Okay, dude, this is fascinating. So you live on the milk and the eggs, and the bunnies are making a lot of bunnies. I don't think you're supposed to slaughter the bunnies then, though. And so then you have Lent. You have your dietary restrictions. So then you don't eat as much. You fast, but you also are like nibbling on greens and natural stuff that's starting to come up, and your body's healing. So then May, June, July, you're eating almost like vegan. No, vegetarian, because I think honey, milk, and eggs, the land of milk and honey, is very important. So your animals are grazing. They all have calves. The milk is just coming out. The women folk are supposed to be making the cheese during this time with the milk so that it survives the winter, the fall of man into hell, which is the winter. And then, the death of the Son of God, 3 days later it rises. Guys, it's fascinating. So you have this abundance, the land of milk and honey in the summer. And no, I'm not taking away from the actual story of Jesus. It's a fractal reality across all time. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to live. And this is how your diet is supposed to live. And this is how the Bible applies to your diet. So in the spring and summer, you're eating a lot of green leaves. And so your body is, the inflammation is going down. You can see it in my face. Like, look at how much different I look. I'm eating what's coming up right now, which is kale, spinach, peas. Now the carrots are coming in, the root vegetables. You got your chickens are still laying eggs, whatnot, but it's like a high vegetable diet, a fasting, which is purging your body of a lot of the bad shit, not bad shit, but the winter weight. And so then, and you're doing a lot of work, but it's like Easter is the explosion of life. The biggest release of energy in the year is the spring equinox, when the day and night are exactly the same. And so then you have the Christian egg and rabbit and that's when the animals calve, milk is flowing, the land of milk and honey. The bees are out, the birds are out, the birds and the bees. This is where everybody's supposed to procreate. I think. I don't know. Or maybe that's supposed to be the winter. I can't remember. But anyway, so then the summer comes, you're making cheese with all this super high amount of milk for the fall of man. Because now I'm in the Garden of Eden. I'm in Eden healing myself. The snake is always tempting. The snake, which you could look at as modern medicine, the snake up the staff. Okay, so anyway, starting in late summer and into the fall, there's something called the harvest moon, where you harvest all the grass and store it for the winter for your animals. Then comes the blood moon in December. And that's when a lot of these calves, because you can't take care of all these calves. Like, every milk animal requires a birth to give you all their milk for the year. Like, they don't just give you milk. Like, you don't go to, so many people have no idea how this all works. Procreate in the fall when you fall in love. I like that. I like that a lot. Is that Labor Day? I don't know. But anyway, so like a lot of people think if you just go up to a cow and do this, like milk could come out. No, it has to have a calf. And so every milk animal has to have a calf to give you milk. So those all can't be fed. A lot of them, like you slaughter. That's the blood moon. And you can get squeamish all you want and be like, there had to be a better way. There's not enough calories, in my opinion. So I think you have a vegan period, and then you have a very carnivore period in the winter. So the blood moon's in December. So the harvest moon, I believe, is October, where you get all the hay, you dry it, you bundle it, you put it away. Then in December, you slaughter a lot of the animals that were born that got to eat all year. And then you salt the meat and you keep it for hell, which is the sound of gnashing teeth. You know, the winter is a biblical hell. It's like there's no life. The sun is leaving, you know, and then at December 21st, right around 3 days before Jesus' quote unquote birthday, the Son of God, Son, S-U-N. Oh, how dare you? Okay, then die of starvation. Okay, so the sun dies at the low point of the year, the winter solstice. And so it's terrifying if you don't know what's happening and you haven't prepared. The fall of man, the man is falling, you know, the leaves are turning color, everything's dying, it's going into hell. So you've salted your meat from the blood moon, you've made your cheese, the fruit of the fall is being eaten and your body's storing up the vitamin C and all that shit. And then you're using it to make ale and apple cider and vinegar and a lot of stuff that can store. You know, the cabbage is becoming, fermented and all that, so it makes it through the winter. Everybody's preparing to make it through the winter. And so then winter solstice, the sun dies, and then December 25th, so December 22nd, the sun dies, the Son of God. 3 days later, the sun rises again. This is how it works in nature. So the sun stays in the horizon low. December 22nd, December 23rd, December 24th. December 25th is the first day that it goes up a degree, right? So the angels. So the archangel, the angel. Darren's here denying angels. No, I'm just telling you how, like, the way you're supposed to survive a year when there's no beast, this is how you do it. So the angels are coming back. So the angle, A-N-G-E-L, angel, is starting to rise the sun degree. And so then you have February, March, and you're eating your meat, your fermented fruit, you're drinking your ale, you know, you're resting, and the sun, and then the explosion is about to hit in the spring, and it starts all over again. You know, and you get revelations and shit in the winter. And so I think there's big cycles that happen too. And I think that's why they had that show that just kept saying winter is coming, because an economic winter is coming. When you are in tune with life cycles, you start to see there really is no death. Yeah, totally. Must have been weird, but I planted 90% of my garden on the winter solstice, and it's growing insanely. Planting, dude, if you read Farmer's Almanacs, this isn't like Aleister Crowley bullshit. How much of the Bible do you think is real, BB? All of it with minor gravels, in my opinion, based on translation issues. But it's like, I think there's huge cycles. Eating the fancy fat during the winter to compensate for the weather. Yeah, you eat a lot of fat, you eat raw, you know, because back then you weren't like cooking it, you salted it. So the raw carnivore diet has validity to it. So does the vegan diet. I can see that without fermented vegetables, salted meat, and cheese, you'd likely be malnutritious in the winter. Yeah, you die. You literally die. And so, and that's when the temptations come in. Greed, you know, sloth, you know, the temptation. It's like, eat all the food, just stuff your fucking mouth with it. No. And then the Garden of Eden returns for the healing. And it's like, and then, you know, you're eating, you're just nibbling on all this shit. You're healing your body. Winter comes, you're packing in saturated fat, you know, and then it's amazing. Yep, that's what I got. Go by. Yeah, like when you plant at different times during a lunar cycle, you'll get better results. That's in the Farmer's Almanac. This is what our ancestors knew. Yeah, and then there's hunting. There's like hunting times, but it's wild. It's so fucking interesting to me. Like there's times when you hunt the males of the herd, and it's It not only should happen, it kind of has to happen to stay in balance. Book of Enoch has a gravy overload on the archangels. Nice. Like in Spain with the pig, they salt them and hang them. Yeah, exactly. I took a lot home last time I went to Spain. Dear Big Bear, you may remember me. I am the Zoomer that sent a small painting of Ira back in January this year. Well, I'm writing again because I have crafted yet another painting. Shout out to Mountain Bear. By the way, me and you have a very similar handwriting. It's hilarious. And the other Bears for making the cartoons. I am simply piggybacking off their great work. Props to them. Anyway, I think this painting would look really funny next to the Ira one. Yeah, I appreciate you. Also, I must say to that, Amy is so very inspiring. I'm looking forward, man, I have the same handwriting as a woman. Are you a woman? To nurturing my own children one day. No, I'm not saying not to do that. I'm saying that I have a similar handwriting to a woman. Onward to Bertaria. Have a great spring from Pung Pai Pooh Bear. Thank you. I appreciate your handiwork. More proof Owen is a tranny. Hilarious. All right, dear Big Bear, quick true story that demonstrates the strange synchronicities that happen in this realm. As I was leaving Idaho on Sunday morning, the day after a beautiful event, I hit a mountain pass where you lose all cell phone connectivity. Ah, interesting that even with satellites. I had been listening to Matt of Quantum of Conscious, but the podcast froze. I switched to the radio, but there was only one station within range. The song was playing Man on the Moon by REM. The day before, I'd been discussing this song with a partially infamous comedian. We had both wondered whether or not the band or songwriter knew the truth when he wrote it, or whether the reality itself wrote it, an idea that was first given to me by Matt from Quantum of Conscience. Yeah, that's a profound, like another realm. I'd just say God, or demons, I guess. So what are the chances that Matt's voice stops, I turn on the radio, and that song plays the other day after I discussed it with Notorious Truther who lives in exile? If you believe they put a man on the moon, man on the moon. If you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, then nothing is cool. Switching gears, I wrote another off-the-cuff drama for you, one-pager, well, a page and a half. Let's read it. The great producer interrogates the Big Bear. Scene, a major Hollywood producer's office. Gilt-edged framed paintings of the producer's mother line the wall. No paintings of his father are seen. There are lots of plants in pots that look abused, particularly the ficus plants. Characters, Shmuel Platinumstein, a shadowy and mysterious Hollywood producer known for his love of young women of both sexes, and his love of platinum jewelry and hot tub parties where scantily clad androgynous servants served the guests champagne and caviar from platinum bowls and goblets. Affectionately known as Uncle Shmuel, or just US of A, Uncle Shmuel of America. Owen Benjamin, from his Wikipedia entries, an American comedian, actor, and alt-right political commentator. He has repeatedly had his social media accounts on various services suspended or removed for his statements, including hate speech and anti-Semitism. Shmuel. So I suppose you're wondering why I had Mossad goons grab you from your precious fields and ghosts and bring you here to me. Well, are you wondering? Rubs hands briefly in anticipation to answer. No, rubs hands briefly in anticipation of the answer. Actually, I don't really care why you brought me here. I just want to go back to my goats and my family. Oh, don't worry. It wouldn't hurt you now, would I? No, I wouldn't hurt you now, would I? Rub hands even more gleefully. You can't hurt me, Shmuel. I've never been afraid of you. You don't even know how to milk a goat or chop wood. Shmuel looking alarmed. You aren't going to hurt me, are you? Please don't hurt me. Oh, and no. I'm just going to leave, though, and catch a ride on an airship back north. I think there's a bear ship leaving today. Owen gets up. Shmuel. Please don't leave yet. I have some questions to ask you. You will answer them. Rubs hands again. Owen, go ahead. I owe you that at least. You gave me some good opportunities in the day. You let me be a giant amongst midgets. And I got to meet Joe Rogan through you. He was in your hot tub, which was odd, but I don't judge. Shmuel, why do you want to help the men and women that you've helped to leave Babylon? You could have just left them alone and I wouldn't have been in this terrible position. What position is that, Uncle Shmuel? I was having so much fun getting them to hurt themselves. It's not fair. What am I supposed to do now that so many of them are escaping my grasp? Do you want me to give you some more of my precious money? Uncle Shmuel pushes a pile of gold coins on his desk towards Owen. Sorry, Shmuel, I don't need it and I don't want it. I've got goats, a cow, a family, land, friends who have my back. Pushes the coins back to Shmuel. Shmuel starts to whimper. You know that your precious bears are going to get tired of working hard and crushing. You come back to me begging for me to let you back in. Don't you know that? History shows that they can't... History shows that they get tired of being responsible for themselves, their families, and they end up giving up their children and their wives to people like me for low-interest loans. Heck, I think I'm going to offer your bears a zero-interest loan for up to 2 years. After that introductory rate, of course, I'm going to charge them a very high rate of interest. And take their firstborn child. Rubs hands intensely while growing in delight. Sorry, Uncle Shmuel, things have changed. There ain't no going back to Babylon. Babylon was stable in its evil for a few centuries, but now the masks are coming off. Satan is your daddy, and he's an addict. He's getting drunk on despair, and he's going for the big squirt. It's not the Yellowstone caldera volcano that's going to blow the system up. It's your greed. You just can't stand the thought of anyone out there being happy and crushing and enjoying life without needing a high-interest loan. And you're going to keep pushing people to insanity, trying to extract more fear and despair out of them. Because in the end, you don't really care about money. You don't care about anything. You only feed off low vibrational energy, but your feeding frenzy is killing the host. And some of us are no longer willing to be the host. Bye-bye. Owen gets up and opens the door. There's a Mossad agent outside looking very menacing and wearing tight black pants. Owen. Hey there, Mr. Mossad guy. I know you listen to the stream. Come by sometime and I'll give you some raw milk and some cheese. And heck, I'll let you pet the goats. And let me tell you this about the new Builder Buddy program I'm working on. Mr. Mossad guy. Really? You serious? Gee, thank you. And you know what? I'm quitting this shitty job. I haven't had a raise in years. And I'm tired of washing that douchebag's car every day. He's a really lousy tipper, too. And I hate cleaning up the ficus plants. It's the worst, man. Fini. That's it. Be well and prosper. Warmest regards. Finnish Bear. What a wonderful story. 100%. Yeah, the Mossad agent is like, I'm going to go with that guy. He's way cooler. But don't you want your petted money? I have documents that you're actually a gay guy. Well, I mean, homosexuality is no longer seen as sinful and shameful in society, so that lever of power no longer works over the population. Well, then I'm going to only have to hire pedophiles. The problem with only hiring degenerate perverts is they're not very good at anything. They're very, very weak men. Well, if I can't have a proof of pedophilia from Epstein to Island, how am I supposed to trust that they'll keep carrying out my wicked plans? You can't. That's the problem. So I can only hire pedophiles. Pedophiles make very bad soldiers. They're not reliable, they have no honor, and they're very scared of men that are not wicked. You see, Shmuel, pedophilia is not based on sex, it's based on power and destroying the good, innocent, godlike nature of a child. They make very, very bad warriors. But if I don't have something on them, how am I supposed to trust that they'll go along with my plan? You can't, which is why the system is imploding, and people like Owen here are no longer seen as the bad man by many, many people. Secretly, of course, because they are still trying to function inside the system. Well, at least I know I can still abort other babies. No, Shmuel. A lot of people are now seeing that family is wealth and money is debt. All right, dear Big Bear, salutations and goodwill to your beautiful... Yeah, see how I just improvised that? It's because I'm not lying. That's why they suck now. Like, you see how right there, just off the cuff, I could run with a premise and trust myself to say stuff that's not only funny, but the play is getting better now that BB is ad-libbing. Because I'm not lying. A liar can't do that. They stick to a script because they're saying, I have to say what they tell me to say, or else I don't get my precious anal play. That's why, love me or hate me for my thoughts on crypto or the Trinity or the moon landing, but it's like, I'm not going to lie, because if I lie, I can't riff. Like when Finish Bear sends me a great play, I can't just riff with Shmuel, because that's why comedy's dead, because they can't trust themselves. And I'm not going to take their deal. And the quote unquote Mossad agents and CIA agents, they're not your enemy. They're not. They're literally just like dudes. Like, dude, one of my closest neighbors is a former Navy SEAL that came up here because he loved the stream and realized the SEALs are fucking, it's like they're having us wear masks and no one's doing anything. It's like the SEALs are more bad. I'm not going to make any claims. But okay, a lot of us have been around SEALs, right? Like, that means you've been around like the elite of like war. So it's like, but the CIA, the CIA is mostly analysts. They mostly sit at computers looking at trends and fucking analyzing. Like, they're not, dude, I've never really had any fear of like, I went through a slight fear of Mossad when I was first talking about the Jays because of like truther channels and shit. But like, it's mostly, want to know what a lot of like agencies and all these people do? They sit around on computers wearing like army fatigues, and they just hit like buttons on all their propaganda. They're not like murderers a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's some that do crazy shit, but it requires a crazy amount of spellcraft. I happen to know someone who's really close with a lot of Israeli military type people, and they face the same problems that America faces, degeneracy of soldiers. It's like, they're not doing good. It's like these millennials don't know how to fucking shoot a gun, and like these gay guys. It's not, nobody is doing a good job. The drone flyers, maybe. Oh, I'm so not scared of drones. People are like, oh, but the drone, they get people to operate it. The autistic, dude, have you ever seen one in your life? You hear spook stories. Maybe that's why it's called spook stories. Like spook means like a spy. You need competent people to carry out this shit. You need a competent drone general to keep everything working and functioning, and all your drone people to not go rogue. That's the problem with degenerates and stupid people. It's like they can't trust anyone to not just. It's like, hey, I'm gonna turn the drone around and shoot my boss. He's such a fucking asshole. He triggered my fragile emotional state. I'm an Asian American, and he asked me what Asian I am, and now I trigger. So I'm gonna shoot the drone at him. Good luck. All right, any entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin comedy. The agents listening to the stream are getting more anti-Babylon by the day. They're not our enemy. Guys, be actual Christians. Our enemy is not flesh and blood. It's the principalities of darkness. Like, even the CIA, Mossad, Freemasons, the Pope, the fucking Jews, they're not your enemies. The individual dudes are not your enemies. Think about me. Think about all the mistakes I've made, the crazy shit I've said. Was I ever bad? If I met myself 10 years ago, some of my opinions, I'd look at myself and go, you're bad. Like, you think abortion is a female right. Should I have killed myself? Like, think about like CIA people that, by the way, there might be shit going on that you're completely unaware of. That's why a lot of times I think like, I try to flip the alternator and think, is there something going on that I'm not seeing? Like, is the CIA or Mossad or the UN or whatever the fuck it is, are they trying to do something to keep the system afloat? And they're trying to fight against, I always do these mental exercises because just saying good guy, bad guy, I'm the good guy, you the bad guy because I don't understand what you're doing. It's like, it's really weak. Like when I toured, the only places that actually protected free speech were government libraries. Private is not like the all the theaters, clubs, all that's all fake. Oh, it's privately owned. Oh, if you actually made money, they'd let you perform, but you're a disgraced comedian. I'm like, I've sold out. I sold out all the tickets already. I already paid the deposit. Why are you kicking me out? I dated Sealed once. He told me it's hard to find men who aren't lazy and just want to collect a check. 100%. The effectiveness of your military or your like spy networks or your police, it's the morality of the men. And so you need a narrative to fuel their ability to kill another man. The closer to the truth, the stronger the narrative. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed this, but only absolute fucking retards are still motivated by empty shoes. Oh, Jews in Budapest were brought to the edge of the Danube, ordered to remove their shoes, and shot, falling into the waters below. 60 pairs of iron shoes are now on the riverbank. No, I don't see one pair of rollerblades. That's why I know it's fake. Guys, people have real problems now. Real fucking problems. People are now realizing they murdered their unborn babies. People are realizing they threw their life away in debt. People are realizing that the fucking media hates them and only lies, and that like their future, like the food they eat is full of chemicals that like make them gay. Do you think they give a fuck about Jews 80 years ago who wore shoes? No one cares. So these narratives, like the Israeli narrative, it's a battle of stories. That's why the Bertaria story is better than that story, because it's true. That's why we're shooting Building Bertaria, because that story is based on nonsense and it's obvious. The only way to get people to do crazy shit is to give them a story like the 9/11 towers falling. We're now kind of seeing what that really was, so it's not really giving the SEALs a bunch of chutzpah. And they may act like they're all into it and all that, but people fucking know. You can ban the truthers all you want on YouTube. You can pretend it's all fucking, all the mainstream is true, but the narratives are falling apart. You can't say America's founded on liberty and freedom and people being able to assemble and speak their mind and, you know, have property rights and all that, and then take it all away because of fucking cold and flu season. You're losing your brand. Pol Pot, come on, baby. A nation is a brand. You're losing your own fucking brand. Some would say by design, and I agree with that, because these sick bastards want to just have everyone out. That's why the Antichrist has one eye. Guys, we've already been told all the truth. In the land of the blind, he with one eye is king. So the one-eyed man wants the world blind so that he doesn't feel bad about his one eye. The one-eyed crusher is like, great, I only have one eye. I'm really good at being a sniper. They hate us for our freedom. Guys, right in the middle of the fake pandemic, you could go, oh, and I know people have gotten sick. I get it. I have theories, and I could do a whole stream on it, but it wasn't what we're told. You could go over to Yemen or fucking Morocco, Algeria, and 5% of the population is wearing masks. And when asked why, they say because they only fear Allah. Meanwhile, you got 100% mask compliance, anal swabbing, nose swabbing. Nobody's having Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. Weddings are being canceled. Funerals are unattended. It's like, that's freedom? And you can pretend and put on a fucking happy face like Jimmy Fallon and tap dance for your nickels. Oh my God, I'm tap dancing for nickels. No way. But you know. That's why we're building Bertaria. And if you want to donate, P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. We're shooting the documentary this next 2.5 weeks. So I don't know when I'm going to be, if my streaming schedule is going to change. It will be, but just, you know, you guys are getting it. It's all about how you frame things in your mind, says Balance Bear. Spot on, says MFC NorCal. Nice. For shekels, not nickels. Doesn't matter. Shekels are no different than fiat dollars. Crypto's worse than both. Want to know what's better than both? Gold and silver. Want to know what's better than that? Actual skills, community, and real things. Like gold and silver isn't even the be-all, end-all. They can crash that. They can crash gold and silver. It's just harder to crash than the dollar, which is harder to crash than crypto. Crypto can crash based on a tweet by a crazy person named Elon. You really want to invest? Oh, I'm diversifying. Oh, good fucking luck. Salutations and goodwill to your beautiful family. When I see how wonderful your life is, it gives me great hope. There's also a bittersweet element for me because it reminds me of what could have been. Crazy synchronicity. I just said that. Your recent stream about Jim Bob's take on the trad chads prompted this letter because in some ways I was one. I learned the hard way about the trad chad mentality and how it will fail. Due to this mentality, I was a failed husband and to a lesser extent a failed father. I was well on my way to having a full-blown affair and had already committed several acts that could be classified as adulterous from the start of my marriage. Though not yet to the point of actual sex, when my then wife got pregnant. The effects of the full-fledged affair were compounded by the pregnancy, and when my wife confronted me, I had the balls to confess. But after the initial confession, I found it difficult to extricate myself from the adulterous relationship and began to lie about the details. I lied out of shame and fear. Shame because I knew I was deliberately doing wrong, and fear because I was afraid my marriage was going to end and my unborn child would live in a broken family. This is such an honest letter. I'm so happy you sent it. I naively thought that the lies would save both face and marriage even after being a terrible husband. This is where the devil gets you to go deeper. Lies to cover sin makes things worse, not better. Yeah, lies only hurt the people doing it. Oh, I got to stand up for the truth. No, the truth stands up for you, bitch. And if you don't walk that line, good luck. Let's say I'm wrong about Bitcoin. I will face, in my opinion, could it be, I will face zero moral consequences because I'm saying exactly what I think to be true. Lying to your audience and manipulating them for money or power is so fucking evil. And it only hurts you. It doesn't even hurt the people that you extract trust from because they then learn a valuable lesson. And money isn't the be-all, end-all. Like, let's say I did lie about Bertari and I used all your $400 donations to buy a fucking bunch of Miatas that I keep in like a warehouse somewhere. And I go look at my Miatas and I go, oh, those fucking idiots. They really trusted me, but I got them. I got my Miatas. Who do you think that actually hurts? I'll give you a hint. It's not you. This is where all right. Lies breed more lies, and I began attempting to justify my sin. This was a dead end, but to my credit, I stopped trying because the overwhelming evidence was that, yes, I was in the wrong. I will also add that this period was the unhappiest I've ever been in my life. Wickedness was never happiness. Prior to that, I had developed my own weird trad chad mentality from a mixture of sources, including Dal Rock, Rousey, Rollo, and Roosh. It's a lot of R's. Like, if you just use the first letter of all those names, it's Durr. Whose websites I discovered through Vox Day's now abandoned Alpha Game Plan site. I am a longtime reader and supporter of Vox Day's various efforts, and in fact found you through him. You were like complementary sides of the same coin. My mentality did not come from any one of them, but rather my interpretation of their writings and a seed of discontent within me. The concepts fascinated me. Unfortunately, the more I read, the more dissatisfied I became and the more curious I was about the practical side of pickup artistry. I began to experiment with girls not my wife and started to believe that I could get away with it because I was relatively high-value male. In reality, my unfaithfulness made me low value despite all my other advantages. Yeah, a cheating, lying man is below like an honest omega. Fact. Because no woman wants a cheating, lying man. It's like, because they can never trust you and you'll make a bad dad. I don't care how much money you have, what your status is, how many abs you have, your facial symmetry, your ability to manipulate. You're literally below omega. And when it comes to, it's like, because all your good attributes become bad attributes. Can someone please draw a cartoon of Owen driving Miata? You want to know why I always use Miata? Because my dad, one time when I was like 8 years old, he was fantasizing about money again. And he said, my dream car, because we've always only had like really old used cars. He goes, my dream car is a Miata. And I remember the way he said it. He was like, Miata. He was like, Miata. Like he was picturing himself driving and he's like 6'3". And he was picturing himself driving in a Miata. He's like, my dream car is a Miata. And I was like, I should have known. I should have known then. So that's why I relentlessly make fun of Miatas. When it fell apart, I tried everything I could think of to fix it and avoid divorce, to keep my young family together, and I finally found strength to end the adulterous relationship. But my thinking was so skewed and my emotions so rampant that I did everything wrong. In addition to small lies that still came out of my mouth because of lingering fear and shame. Once I got off the right path, it took work and time to get back on. Now when I look back at or think of some of the things I said and did to try and reconcile with my ex-wife, I'm at a loss to say what I was thinking. I wouldn't have wanted to reconcile with me either. I was completely unstable and confused. The experience broke me. I was so broken that the only place I could turn to was Christian God and his son, Jesus Christ. It relieved my faith, and I learned a major lesson about telling the truth at all times, even when it is damaging to myself. The awful price of it all was that my family was shattered irreparably. If you're wanting for a fairy tale resolution, there is not one, besides the rekindling of my faith and a new commitment to the truth. My ex-wife proceeded to falsely accuse me of molesting our young child, and because the trust between us no longer exists, there's no path for her to believe me when I say that I did not do such a heinous act. If someone held a gun to my head and threatened my life, I would take death over committing such a crime against a child's innocence. To shorten this long story, that's a good point. It's like when you're a liar, you can't defend yourself. You can't say, no, I didn't molest my kid. Then people are like, what does that mean? You have my word. To shorten this long story, my ex-wife has used every excuse possible to exclude me from our child's life, and to this date, I've not seen or spoken to my child for nearly 18 months. Due to this, the courts in my state awarded me custody last week despite my ex's efforts to paint me in such a misogynistic pedophile. The judgment will almost certainly be appealed and the litigation drawn out even longer, but I doubt the ruling will change much. I know firsthand that you are right about the trad chads and that you are right about women's reactions. They are only crazy when the men in their life fail them either through weakness or broken promises. And here's the thing, like my gut says this guy didn't molest his kid, but there is a weird truth to this where it's like if you're a pig and you bring that energy around your kid, there is a sexualization of your child. I'm not saying that you're a pedophile, but it's like if you're like a lying sex fiend and you have a kid in that environment, they're going to be exposed on some level to sexuality. And so that isn't the same as molesting a kid, but it does take away their innocence on some level. So it's like, yeah, the woman's right. Like the woman should keep the kid away, in my opinion. That's why gays shouldn't adopt. Yeah, totally. It's like being around a certain energy is a molestation. You have still damaged their innocence. Yeah, totally. Because it's like, how is the mom supposed, like when so the mom has to lie? So the mom has to lie and say like, no, dad's a good guy. No, or the mom has to say he's a liar and a cheater and a pig, but you're going to go be with him for the weekend. So now she's a bad mom? She should fight tooth and nail to keep the kid away from you, in my opinion. And I'm sure you probably agree. It's like, I know you want to see your kid, and I know you're fighting for your kid, and you're turning it around and all that, but put yourself in your ex's position. It's like, you're a lying pig. So it's like, she like made this child in her body, breastfed this child, was betrayed by her husband. So it's like, how's she supposed to look at the kid and say, yeah, your dad cheated on me, lied to me, had an affair, all this stuff. It's like, but I'm going to let you go with him. Just you two. She would do everything in her power to keep you away from her kid. That's a tough fucking spot to be in because I do feel for this guy. This brings me to my final piece. I would like to know your thoughts regarding a very difficult choice I have to make. Our child is going to lose one parent or the other as I see no way forward for cooperative parenting. Currently, our child is with my ex-wife, her new husband, and half-sibling. They homestead and are Christian like myself. If my child stays with them, there is a distinct possibility that I would never see my child again. Yeah, your child is better with them. You want to pay the penalty for lying? You got to accept that you're not in that kid's life anymore. You fucked up. And if you want to force that kid into your life when that kid is now homesteading with a family, like a stable family, you're still being that trad Chad, bro. You're still doing exactly the same fucking thing. You want to actually pay the penalty? Let your kid have a family. I personally do not want one parent to be cut out of the picture and would try to facilitate my ex having supervised visits. You're a bad dude if this is what you're doing, man. But I am single and living with my parents. You would do that to your kid? Isn't there a story in Solomon about that? You'd rip your kid in half? That means you don't even love your kid. You're single living with your parents, saving money for a homestead of my own. He's already on a homestead with his mother and another better man than you. And if you want to gamma out and try and ruin my life for this tough love shit, go ahead. You want to cut your kid in half because of your no, you fucked up. You're a single pig liar living with his parents. Your kid is on a homestead with a Christian family, and you're going to push to break that? You don't love your kid. Our child has not seen me in 18 months, and she is only 4 years old. I may be shocked to be removed from her current environment. It may be a shock to be removed from her current environment. You think? Her mom. The fact you have to ask this means you shouldn't be anywhere near this fucking kid. I'm doing my best to consider and choose our child's best interest. No, you're not. You're still choosing your own best interest. You're still that pig. You're still just thinking about your alpha bullshit. Oh, I need my kid. No, that kid is way better off with that other family. You're a narcissist, and I hope the judge keeps that kid away from you. Oh, now I'm going to ruin you. Okay. I hear people are calling you a pedophile. His squirt is more important than his family. I love Owen as a brother so much. You tell him, BB. Yeah, it's true. I'm not going to pretend that you should fight for your kid. At the beginning of the letter, I was like, yeah, fight for your kid. You see the shit. No, you pay for your penalty. You betrayed your child's mom. Bad. And you kept lying about it. You kept doing it. You kept fucking being the center of your own world. Well, guess what? Now you got to pay the penalty. You don't deserve to have a child in your life. You're a sperm donor. And that other dude on that homestead that actually lived an honest life, that's a better father figure. You live with your fucking parents. How alpha is that? How high? Oh, I'm such a high status male. You're a low status male. You cheat on your child. You cheat on your wife. You cheat on your child. You're not just cheating on your wife. You cheat on your kid, your baby. Your wife was sleepless, sore nipples, with a baby, up all night, and you're out fucking. And now you're going to use the strong arm of the law to break that family? This is why courts rule in favor of the woman, because of people like you. This is why so many courts just give the kid to the woman, because of these pathological narcissists that act like this. They go, yeah, sure, I fucked her friend, sister. I lied. I gave her herpes, all this shit. But you know, I'm a man and I got abdominals and a Miata. You're a fag. And you're a failure of a dad. Accept it. You're going to use the legal system to take that child away from your kid, from her mother, a 4-year-old girl away from her mother on a homestead. And you call yourself a follower of Jesus Christ? You should be ashamed of yourself. Listen to this shit. The last thing I want is for my personal pride to get in the way of my child's welfare. You too late for that, bitch. You baby. Long term, I think I am a better choice, if only because I want my child to have both parents involved. No, your wife does not want a lying cunt around her baby. You just want the woman around because you want her to forgive you. You want her to say everything's okay because you're a baby who now follows Jesus. I bet you pound on that Bible like it's a crutch. You put the Bible under your arm like it's a fucking crutch, right? Your ex-wife doesn't want a narcissistic, manipulating pig in her child's life because she's actually a good parent. If you want her in your child's life, it means she's a good parent. Remember when King Solomon said, cut the child in half? And the good parent said, no, I'd rather have the child live than for me to have possession over the child. And that's when King Solomon realized that that was actually the one who loved the child. You're living with your parents. Short term, our child is already in a very good environment, and disturbing it would be a rough experience involving law enforcement. You're fucked up, dude. Dude, I'd say it's over. I'm not going to make any claims, but some of these accusations might be right on the money. Yet not doing so would mean permanent separation from my child, whom I love dearly. No, you don't. You only love yourself. If you loved your child dearly, you'd let your child be in a better home. If I thought I was bad for my kids, and I love my kids so much, I would not be around them. I may have already made up my mind by the time you read this, but please tell me your thoughts if you are willing. I could really use some more objective point of view. Yeah. I have to protect myself legally, so I've omitted my child's gender and have not given my name in case you read this on your stream. No, you already gave your child's gender because you're a fucking retard. Your PS is incoherent. You're still such a liar. You don't even know that you said it was a girl. Where does it say it? She is only 4 years old. You said it in this paragraph right here. She is only 4 years old. One paragraph later, you say, so I've admitted my child's gender. One paragraph after that, you didn't realize the lie you just told. You're fucked up. And I pray that that woman keeps her child away from this fucking psychopath. This child is retarded on top. This guy's retarded on everything. It's not even about retarded. Liars have no idea that they're lying. He's not a dope. He's a liar. And he never stopped lying. You want me to help alleviate your conscience because you know the right answer is to leave your child with that other woman? Oh, Owen's going against the Bears. No. No, you go for the truth. That, in my opinion, is a narcissistic psychopath that scanned the internet for blogs so that he could justify his evil behavior to his own family. He cheated on a pregnant and then a baby. Like he had an affair. He told another woman he loved her. He gave resources to another woman. And then he hides behind Jesus Christ to avoid the consequences. And now he lives with his parents, and he still considers himself a high caliber male. And now he's using the strong arm of the court because he probably has money or something from his parents. He's upset his wife remarried and is providing a stable home with a new man. Yeah, he doesn't love his kid. Sorry for getting so fired up about that. I should have been more relaxed, but what a fucking coward. And you wonder why courts give the child to the mom. Can you imagine not doing that? So you have these narcissists. I know women can lie, and I know family court sucks, and I understand that, but do you see where it comes from? Do you see that it comes from these men being like the worst? And then the woman who actually loves the child and wants what's best for the child, a man in a black robe uses law enforcement to pull the child away from her. That's the majority of it. And so, yeah, you'll get now courts that are overcompensating the other way. But I agree that a woman, without all the evidence, should go with the mother, not the father. This was a wild ride. Many men like this, but they too can turn around. I mean, usually when they say they've turned it around, they haven't turned it around. They want relief from their sin. They want people to say, oh, you're the special boy now. You're the he lied in the letter. I bet he butt fucks guys. All right. I guarantee he butt fucks. In fact, there's absolutely no way he is not getting it in his asshole. There's Rebecca Bear. Happy birthday, the biggest of bears. Thank you, Rebecca Bear. Do you have a letter to go with this? I want to read something from a sweet, good person to get the filth off me for that. Pulling a 4-year-old with cops away from her mother. Oh, I probably already came up with my own conclusion because I want her in the life too. You know, and she's upset that every weekend her 4-year-old daughter has to be with someone that she believes molested her, who's a narcissistic, cheating, lying psychopath. Yeah, if you've turned it around, you don't have to ask someone to confirm it for you. Yeah. And don't fucking hide behind Jesus, you fucking loser. Where's Rebecca Bears? Did you just send me a card? Yeah, I need a shower after that letter too. That's gonna be it for me today. Oh, I don't like this guy. No. I guess I probably applied a little of my own shit to that letter. Maybe I yelled a little too much. But I'm not gonna fucking sugarcoat that. Entropies, hit me with a card, and then I'll play the Somewhere Over the Rainbow again. Yeah, he probably wants to use the daughter to pick up single moms. Exactly. He's gonna roll her around the park, and then he's gonna bang them at his mom's house, and then he'll put his daughter in like the bathroom or something, so that she only hears the noises. And then he'll vehemently deny that he's a child molester. If you put your kid in a sexualized environment like that, you're a fucking pervert. Because you know he's still fucking. He has to be praised and worshiped by strange women. Buckets, post the entropies. The daughter's part of his identity as a new good Christian. That's all she is. Exactly. It's a prop. It's a prop. Well, God always does it exactly the way it has to go. So, it's all good. The Bible says adultery penalty is death. You didn't go too hard, but yeah, it's true. If you're really a Christian, you should feel you should have died for what you did. But instead, you're using the United States government to take a little girl away from her mom. You piece of shit. Hey, BB, you crush like no one else. Your sober content stands for all things logical, reasonable, integrity, and truth. The emotional growth you have displayed since discontinuing alcohol has been truly phenomenal. Resentment you once had for your father has disappeared. Thanks, Bill Bear. Logos and spiritual experience has filled your heart. Yeah, being sober is awesome. Liars end up sulking in a sauna like Joe Rogan. Exactly, Choppy Bear. Jilly Bear says, sending blessings from Missouri to you and your beautiful family. I can't tell you how much your streams, IG, Bertari, etc. have improved and blessed my life. Thanks for sharing and allowing us to watch you grow and learn things. It's an awesome ride to be on with you. You're currently land shopping for rural homesteading. Amazing, Jilly Bear. I enjoy watching Slightly Offensive with Elijah Schaefer and his guest I really like. Gavin McGinnis did a shout out to you a month ago. BB, you're crushing on the Ethernet. Thanks, Blue Bunny Bear. That's a very generous one from Sigma Bear. A tip for Bertaria. Maybe some extra timber tea or tools for the troops. I like all those teas. Couldn't use the invite this time, but I will next time, God willing. Check out Teva stocks. Not doing good. I should have bet against Teva. A handsome short at the time you exposed them. Incidentally, alleged Sigma Bear. Nice. I wonder if I helped bring them down. All praise go to God. All right. This is for Ukrainian Bear. I played in the beginning, but I really like this song. The family courts are always against us super woke alpha males. Well, did you bring a woman around and fuck her in front of your 2-year-old? I'm just getting pussy. I hope her mom takes her far, far away. Yeah, thanks, Sigma Bear. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. That's really high for me. I played it better earlier. Lullaby, high, high, high. There we go. somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true, true, true. Ooh, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Oh me, well, trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, why, oh why can't I, something like that. I'm gonna play out to build a home, and then I'm gonna get out of here. This is in honor of our Ursa Rio build for the next 2.5 weeks that we will be shooting as a full-length documentary called Building Bertaria. Rudy, get the fuck in here. He's going to play it. Some of these letters just give me the creeps. But most of them are so awesome. Thanks, everybody who sent the letters. I really appreciate that, but that one was just so disturbing for me. All right. There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors and walls and windowsills, tables and chairs worn by all of the dust. This is the place where I feel at home. This is the place where I don't feel alone. Yeah. And I built a home for you and for me, until it disappeared from you and from me. And now it's time to live and turn to dust. Out in the garden where we planted the tree, there is a tree as old as me. By the cracks of her skin, I climbed to the top. I climbed the tree to see the world. From the cracks of her skin, I climbed to the top. I climbed the tree to see the world. When the gusts came around to blow me down, I held on as tightly as you held on me. I held on as tightly as you held on me. And I built a home for you and for me, until it disappeared turn to dust. There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors and walls and windowsills, tables and chairs worn by all of the dust. This is the place where I feel at home. This is the place where I don't feel alone. And I built a home for you and for me until it disappear from you and from me. And now it's time to live and turn to dust. Out in the garden where we planted the seeds, there is a tree as old as me. Branches were sown by the color of green. Ground had a rose and touched by the cracks of her skin. I climbed to the top. I climbed the tree to see the world. When the gusts came around to blow me down, I held on as tightly as you held on me. I held on as tightly as you held on me. And I built a home for you and for me until it disappeared from me and from you. And now it's time to live and turn to dust. All right, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for all your letters, your comments, your super chats, everything. Today was a great day. Unauthorized.tv, where these streams always live. BitChute.com/Owen Benjamin. BertariaTimes.com. Bertaria Times app. What else? P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. Send me any super chats or support or letters or anything you want, minus letters trying to get me to justify your evil behavior. All right, be fruitful, multiply. Don't be fruity and blow a guy. Take it easy.